Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure, and thanks. It's been actually really nice to actually see some familiar faces again, Christian, Christian and
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
in particular,
Same.
because I'm working with Alistair obviously at the moment, so
Yeah,
I'm seeing him again more often.
that's cool.
But
But as you say, this is we are sort of a band of Toa coming together, also for this. So I think in that matter, who knows what could happen.
yeah,
I'm constantly optimistic about these things. So yeah.
okay.
It's
Well,
not for nothing that there were.
Mm.
Sorry, it's not for nothing that there was.
Go
ahead, sir. Please, I don't want to keep on.
No, I've got some cool stuff I'd like to talk to Christian about sometime. So maybe we should get together in a couple of
definitely
weeks or month.
Definitely.
So let me know when you're back.
And it's so good to meet. I remember sitting with all the different drawings from DC and choosing that style of drawing. So it's the first time I see you actually.
Thank you very much for inviting me to the party.
Yeah, but it's like sitting with that task of trying to choose who being part of that, and then this 20 years later meeting you finally. That's amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Because I have the original drawings where there's no coloring. We got that, and I just found it actually in my all my bags. So that's. It was first time we saw that coming out in a live comic, and I just want to say how much I appreciate all that effort that went into.
Thank you very much.
I will say, I actually did also meet you as well, Carlos, back in Emerald City Comic Con 2013. Was it 13 or 16? 16. Sorry. I actually got a comic signed by both you and also Stuart Sager on the same day, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
That's another thing, actually. When you mentioned, Carlos, that somebody you didn't realize how big the community was until someone commissioned you to draw something. I think that was Swert and Doric.
I'm actually the head of Bionicle Sector 01. We've been communicating with you the last couple of months.
Gotcha. Okay.
So every time you've been pinging us, I see it all the time.
that sounded like such a we gotcha. And the head of BS01. We've been in correspondence with you.
It wasn't me. I wasn't even there. Yeah.
I will say, I obviously, like many, grew up on comic books, but you drew my favorite panel of anything.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Right. I'm going to say goodbye and good evening for now, or good morning for you in the US. And,
it was very nice meeting you, and
it was lovely to meet everyone.
Oh wow!
Oh well, hi there.
Oh, that is incredible.
Wow. Okay.
How much did I drink last night? You don't want to know the answer to that question.
Great.
Is that an entirely new model or one of the original ones from back in the day?
This is actually this is from Craney, who did the game. I talked to him.
Oh, so that's a Quest for Matanui model then.
He sent me one of those, and then it's mocapped with me in the suit. So I'm mocapping.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, and I always wanted that scene where Tahu puts on the first mask for the first time. Because we never really did that from when we did the ghost stuff. We didn't do it the full sort of motion picture version. So
thank you so much for being here, Mr. Thompson. Meeting and talking with you has been fantastic after so many years of I don't know who has.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you've had something like this, Christian, because you're much more active on social media, and I've just been. In the last 5 years, 6 years, I think I've just been so busy. It's not been my focus. But I actually had an email not long ago from someone inquiring because they'd heard a rumor that Bob Thompson had died.
Oh shit!
And they'd emailed my company address, and of course it came through to me. And it was, so I said, can you confirm that the rumor that Bob Thompson has died? so I emailed absolutely Bob Thompson. But I still occasionally the odd fan email gets through, but it seems like it was such a long time ago, and so many other things have happened. But it's just really nice seeing I think particularly seeing you and Martin, because I haven't seen you for such a long time.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to catch up and maybe have a beer on Zoom since we can't do it in person.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make it taste any worse. I can tell you that for certain.
Right. Yeah. Not a bottle of gin in the jazz club though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know what happens after that. After that starts things off. Yeah.
That was a crazy night because there was a Brazilian DJ playing in the basement, and there was a Danish, really sort of 80s music DJ playing on the first floor, and and that combination was like,
yeah. You could hear, but we could hear both. And we had a kind of a difficult day. We were all drinking, and Alistair felt really uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing before our other esteemed guests jump off here? I kind of wanted to bring this up during the meeting, but I didn't get a chance to, which is the Mata Nui online game. For the people who came after, that was the benchmark. And I did a lot of games after that one for Lego, including some award-winning stuff for Hero Factory. I think the Breakout game won a bunch of awards. But I don't think any of them measured up to what Mata Nui Online Games did to set up Bionicle. So I want to thank you personally for your work in that. It was very important for me as a fan and for Bionicle as a whole. And I know that you get these different projects that you go through. You might not realize kind of the import on some of them, but this one was really pretty special. And this is cool for me to be able to get to say thank you for that.
Wow. Thank you.
I would definitely also say I got into Bionicle mostly through the comics, but the online game was also a big factor for me as well.
I still remember personally when Bionicle.com didn't even exist. Bionicle, early on, Bionicle.com just immediately directed to the first beach scene in the Mata Nui online game. At that point, the website hadn't even been finished yet, so that was the website. So anyone who went there, and just to preface, my first introduction to Bionicle was just a little blurb in the Lego magazine with Bionicle.com and a picture of Onua. And I didn't know what it was. I was 10. So I just put in the address and I went there. And that was it, the beach scene. How could you not get into it after just that being your introduction, It
was pretty genius, I gotta say. Whoever dreamed that whole scenario up. Pretty good. It was a good time. And for website, I mean, just as far as getting your stuff out there, right? Like, the same experience with Blair Witch, before like really you knew it was quite real, before it was in the theaters, like that was the website. You went there and it was just a bunch of mystery.
It was almost like the modern day or the olden day equivalent of a modern ARG.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And was it very clever guerrilla marketing, or was it just that nobody had anything else to show at that point?
Right.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
A little column A, a little column B.
I definitely think that stuff like that I Love Bees and so forth definitely keyed off of stuff that you guys all wound up doing.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly, say hi to Leia for me, will you?
I will. I'll let her know. We chat relatively often.
That's actually something that we bring Leia up. She was actually mentioned on the panel yesterday as well.
Well, she was a big part of it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, ironically, they brought her up as the reason that love truly is canon.
Love.
So that's an ongoing thing with Bionicle over the years. Was that one of the writers, Greg Farshti, always considered love to be not canonized. Like they don't have romance in Bionicle.
Greg.
And you guys clearly have different ideas about that.
I have different ideas.
Yeah, there's a reason we specifically didn't bring it up, because it's still a very polarizing subject in the fandom.
Oh, is it ever?
Well, but how can you say that when what's his name was totally crushed out on Maku?
That would be Huki and Maku.
The awkward part about that is Huki's a Toa now.
Huki.
Yeah, he became a Toa, but
look,
Maku did not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's important to really get into the details, but to say that it doesn't exist is that's going a little far, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We've been trying to work with it. It's just a pain in the butt, though.
We went in a lot of weird places.
Oh yeah.
So maybe
if I just came up and said the island of Madanui is a face of a robot in itself, that I don't think that would really have been anything you would have been aware of at the time.
Oh yes, we were.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You were
I'm
aware
not
of
surprised.
So Faber told you all the story and everything?
Oh yeah, no, we had 7 years of story.
Okay.
But I don't. When I said which honestly, I mean, when you look at some stuff that happens in media these days, where I mean, I think Star Wars is like this. What's his name? J.J. Abrams admitted to not having any idea where he was going with that thing.
I remember reading that.
I don't really understand.
It's interesting that you guys were aware of that, because Carlos de Anda, one of the comic artists from that time, he specifically wasn't made aware of any of that stuff.
Well, then that's a management problem.
That was a miss.
Because that was all there. That was all there and available to us. So there was a ton of stuff we had and a ton of stuff we didn't have. But the stuff the stuff that they had at the beginning, which was sort of the general direction for the thing, all the secret stuff that wasn't going to be revealed for years, that was all in there. And it was brilliant, because anytime you see a piece of media that, or any kind of storytelling that's really well done, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because they know exactly what they're doing from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what informed everything that we put in there. And I would say I recommend people do one thing if they want to do something well, is to don't use the word etc. or sweep it under the rug or put it off till tomorrow, because it was Swinnerton and Script Night and working with Advance and whoever else it was, I don't even know. They had mapped out 7 years of story, and to their credit, man, it made following a vision, maybe not the one they had or even started with, but having an idea, those ideas helped fill in a lot of blanks when making things from scratch. Going forward, it's a good philosophy to have. Some people can riff on stuff and it'll be great, but I'm not one of those people.
That brings up a good question. Kelly, what were your reactions to learning about where the direction was going when you finally joined on? Because that had to be mind-blowing for you, especially.
Super mind-blowing, yeah. When I flew to Denmark and I sat down with Christian Faber and he said, "Hey, have you got an hour? I want to explain the beginning and end of BIONICLE to you." I'm like,
in an hour?
Yeah, please. What's that?
You did that in just an hour?
I had a lot of practice.
It was
there is some TED Talks on YouTube about the entire BIONICLE history that go on for 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah. Wow. It's like, okay, do you have an hour?
Yeah, so he told me about that, and this is in 2007, and yeah, it blew me away. It was like, wow. And, not only the story, but where it came from.
Added on? Sorry, had they added more? Because ours was 7 years long. So that would have put it at wrapping up in 2008. So maybe they had.
They did. They extended. I think actually in 2002, 2003, they only had, sets wise, they only had the Borak, right? So they had to do the Borak Cal. And so I think they milked it for a year before they could get some new sets out. So yeah, they kind of extended it that. But
sorry, I didn't need to open up a can of worms with that one. It's getting dark over here.
That does also remind me, Kelly, I think we're going to have to thank you for the 2008 style guide as well. Or is it 2009?
Correct.
Yeah, that was from you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I got it through Jason via you. So
Jason lives 5 houses down from me. By the way.
I'm not surprised.
How funny is that?
I'm pretty sure it was a little shocking for him to learn.
Yeah, we found out about it on Facebook. I posted a picture of my front fence, and it's very distinctive. And he's like, "Wait a second, I go by that every day."
Yeah, walk down a little bit. Oh, hi, Kelly.
Yeah.
God, that reminds me. I wish somebody had asked you guys a question about Lego Studios backlot, just because of the Matoran cameo in that game.
Yes, that's right. Whose name was George?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was the Game Boy Advance game.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Boy Advance game had a Matoran with a blue mask, which is not normal.
Right.
And he was the only one like that. And then, and apparently, we had a design document or a story, some kind of Bible or deck from Sapphire. I think it's one of the few documents we ever got from Sapphire was entirely about the Game Boy, which they did, I guess. GBA Chronicles.
Game Boy Advance, yeah.
It was, I can't remember what it was called.
I think it was
Quest for the Toa. It was also originally known as Tales of the Tohunga.
Tales of the Tohunga, that's what it was. And of course they had to change that. But he had no name in that game. So, but in the script he was referred to as George. Anyway, yeah. Lego Backlot, yes, he shows up because we had a model. Because that game was entirely
we actually found that model in the PC game, just sitting in a random folder somewhere. So it definitely did come from that.
Yeah. So sure, it was an inside joke because those two projects overlapped.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't remember we had staff for that kind of thing, but Justin, I see you're reaching back in.
Like how? Where was the crossover there?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Studios.
I don't know.
It was
all a big blur at that point.
My mind now.
That was developed on
yes.
Shockwave, if I remember correctly. That definitely takes me back too.
Well, God, all right, you guys are starting to dig into some stuff, but Lego had a relationship with Intel.
That would do it.
And Intel, was looking for companies to develop 3D games to show off their new processors.
It was Pentium 3, unless I'm very much
something like that.
Yeah.
So they wanted to encourage development of processor-intensive gaming, as you can imagine they would, and they did that through various associations with companies, and one of them was Lego, because there was a producer at Intel, or there was some kind of officer at Intel that really liked, that was into Lego, and they fostered that relationship. And we were one of the first companies to do online 3D gaming on the web, which there hadn't been much of a web for much longer before us. So we used a few plugins to do some groundbreaking stuff. They noticed us, they connected with us somehow, and Lego, and it all became a big sort of association between us and Intel and Lego. I guess they were splitting the bill, and they encouraged development of. We used a different plugin at the beginning, but then we switched to Shockwave, which was the only available solution at the time for doing 3D in a browser.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got your,
it's all just WebGL these days.
It's all WebGL now. Yeah, it's like you got your WebGL, you got all your stuff. But
remember,
or even HTML5.
Yeah.
What a thrill it was to open your browser and actually have a 3D thing, and like
that was a big deal.
This guy was like jumping over things and pushing things. You're like, wait a minute, what sorcery is this?
Right. So that's where that came from, and so we were doing these games with Lego and Intel, and Studios was a big product. Steven Spielberg was involved in it.
Because that was the studio's branding at that point. Is they brought him in.
Do they still even make a Lego Studios?
Unfortunately not. I'd love to see more, but Lego really isn't in the habit of bringing back IPs like that.
That's too bad. Yeah, it was cute. So
I liked it.
I think it was one of. It also included one of the first commercially affordable webcams.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yeah, 480 by 320 or something.
That's
still better than half the webcams on the market at the time.
True. That's right. There was a camera involved, of course.
Yeah.
The movie studio.
I have a funny story about Ninjago. So after Bionicle, they gave me several other web properties to manage. So one of them was Ninjago, right? I did Legends of Chima, Ninjago, Mindstorms, Lego Star Wars. But when they gave me Ninjago, it was still on the 3-year plan. Okay, well, we have a 3-year plan to launch this, milk it, and then retire it, right? So this 3-year thing. Not really understanding quite how, vital it was that people loved it so much. So they gave it to me and they said, okay, we're going to start winding this down. So go ahead and wind down Ninjago, the website. So I'm like, oh, okay. So when, in job interviews now, people ask me, what's the failure that you learned the most from? And I said, well, Lego gave me a website for Ninjago to wind down, and it ended up keeping going, making tens of millions of dollars. So I failed there, but that was my biggest failure.
You're almost like the assassin for themes now. You were there for Bionicle's end. You were there for Hero Factory's end. You were there.
Hero Factory was doomed from the start.
Oh, well, beyond that. Though I do remember you getting some advice from us at BrickCon about the Hero Core with the code on the back. I'm like, oh, that looks nice. Too bad I can't photograph this to prove that you did that.
Yeah, that's true. But that was the breakout game, and
yes.
We did that whole campaign, and that won a British gaming award, marketing award, which was kind of big. That was pretty cool because I was the executive producer for that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
it was nice to be able to get an insight on some of that too. You don't get to see that stuff very often, especially back in the early 10s from out of Lego. These days, it's a little easier for us to get our hands on something, maybe? ?
Well, I don't have anything officially.
Well, I know you don't officially.
Yeah, it's like Peter was saying, the stuff tends to fall through the cracks that collect dust, but officially doesn't exist.
Right. Let's be honest, the suits never truly understood the future. Case in point, Microsoft owning Minecraft.
Okay. Another fun story. I have a great story about this one. So I'm sure all of you remember Lego Universe, right? And how wonderful that was. So that was a train wreck, slow motion train wreck that we watched internally happen from day one. So the guy that pitched that and ran it, he was a snake oil salesman, not to put too fine a point on it. And he had convinced everybody in Lego that this is the way we're going. This is going to be everything. This is going to be huge, massive. And Minecraft was just starting to poke its head up at that point. And Minecraft, which my son was really into, so I was familiar with it, was very much more Lego-like than anything that Lego had ever produced, frankly. So, there was this big marketing meeting, and I remember being in this meeting with all these big executives, like, C-level executives and all the directors and stuff, VPs, and they're going on and on and on about how wonderful Lego Universe is going to be. And I pipe up and say, why don't we just license Minecraft? Oh my God, if looks could kill. No, we're going a different direction. That Minecraft is just a blip. It's not there's nothing big about that. It has nothing to do with Lego. As a matter of fact, we might litigate it out of existence. It's too close to what we do, but it has nothing to do with us.
It reminds me of when Netflix or when Blockbuster was encouraged to buy Netflix, and they're just, well, why would we do that? This isn't the future.
Exactly the same thing. So one of my proudest memories,
videotapes.
Yeah, VTRs, videotape recorders, reel to reel. No, one of my proudest memories is walking out of that going, yeah, I just got smacked down by a jerk, and I'm going to be proven right. And I was.
You were.
So Microsoft bought it for what, $4 billion?
Something like that.
And they're gonna make
and now they're having to pay for the
so
licensing
much
themselves because they were
they haven't
wrong.
made that back
especially
already,
now with like the Bedrock edition and its whole marketplace thing. They've got microtransactions and everything. They're swimming in it now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Minecraft is, I think, the most sold video game, period.
Oh yeah. I think they just edged out GTA 5 finally.
Yeah, so I feel pretty good about that meeting.
I'm fine with how things worked out now. It makes Biocraft's existence so much easier.
Yes. And you should know, Eljay, super fan.
Oh, I keep on forgetting about that. Yes.
Yes.
I am a Minecraft superfan, according to Microsoft, I suppose,
and Lego, I think technically.
Yeah, I guess more so Lego. They, through the Lego Ambassador program, they had they had this contest. Send in your Minecraft stories. Well, most Lego ambassadors don't play Minecraft, so they had a total of 6 entries, 4 of which were from my group, and I won the whole thing. They made a stop motion video of my little 2-minute story, and they advertised it for Minecon Earth, like 2017 or something. So they're like, we have all these Minecraft YouTubers, Captain Sparkles, yada yada, and Minecraft superfan Eljay Johnson. What about this is Minecraft? They even
that axe is gonna chop something.
The picture they used was of me wearing my mask. So you have these Minecraft YouTubers, and all of a sudden this guy wearing a Miru. It's like, okay.
I mean, no, it's just your Minecraft skin come to life.
I mean, yes.
It is. It really is.
It really is.
And we appreciate you coming by, and thank you all for tuning in. You have a good day.
Thanks.
And can I just say, I don't think, Lehari, you knew that it picked that up, but yeah, your cat just as soon as you said goodbye, so too did the cat. I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I see we're still recording. Hi, this is Night, everybody. Look at the camera, you little asshole.
I hope you know this is absolutely going in the bonus video.
Yeah, no, I know.
Absolutely, it's going in the bonus video.
His name is short for Long Night of Solace because I am that big of a Halo nerd. And he is the yelliest boy ever.
Oh my god,
I believe it.
But yep, actually, and Darbell, one of the reasons why I asked about that sim thing is because I actually used to work for an old C-130F, I think, pilot who did who did the tanker refuels, and I it's a damn fine aircraft, I gotta say. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a fun project. There was actually one weekend where I came into the office, and my database that I made was pretty much all of the UK, except for right around London. And one time I came in and I actually put a model of the Loch Ness Monster up in Scotland. And I didn't tell anybody. I mean, this is my own little Easter egg. We weren't supposed to do that. But I knew that the colonel would love it, and they were looking for bugs one day, and he found that, and he said that he was literally on the floor of the simulator laughing because he couldn't believe we'd do that. And he was
that's
and I knew he would be, but they would never do it. I told them. But that shipped in the database. The Loch Ness Monster in that database.
Then, my friends, our quest begins.
We did it, guys. We solved the most important question facing the Bionicle community. It's pronounced Liwa.
I'm still shocked.
We did it, everyone. We saved Bionicle.
Yeah.
Burning down in the background.
The end of Evangelion, but it's just Sakota's fucking diorama in the background.
Oh, that's gross.
No.
It's right. You're right, but it's fucking gross.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Don't worry. My Coley heads will take over the world.